right. They did get that map upgrade on League, didn't
There
they?
we go. Now we're live.
Yep. I don't know when it goes live. I don't know if maybe it already is. Who knows?
Did you guys check out Twitch Plays Final Fantasy VI?
No!
So, it started off kind of with a bang, and it was on the front page of Twitch there for a little bit, and then looks like either the emulator or the bot froze, and then it was frozen for a couple of hours, and last time I checked there was only like 10 people playing the game, or 10 people chatting, and I think it was only like 1 or 2 people actually playing the game, which is kind of a bummer, but they were doing pretty well. Alright, for those of you watching live or watching the archive, everything is broken today. So Twitch chat might be working, we might be streaming. I don't know. Mina's having problems with her computer kind of overall, and technology, you know.
It appears to be on Twitch.
Okay.
Twitch is working.
Okay. Whew. Got one thing. Alright. Got our fast new internet here, which has actually been pretty good for streaming. I'm trying to get myself all set up to stream Final Fantasy V for the 4-Job Fiesta. See how that goes.
Yeah, I had full intention of doing that after I beat some Dark Souls 2, and I don't have to worry about Dark Souls 2 anymore.
I keep thinking about streaming and then not doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I streamed Warframe once, and I didn't like losing part of my screen to the streaming stuff, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, the streaming on PS4 is a little bit weird.
Well, I was doing it on PC. I don't know what...
Oh, okay.
And I may have just been doing it the stupidest way possible. I don't know. I just... I
Do you have
grabbed
two
that...
monitors?
No.
Oh, okay.
Is that
That's
my
fine.
problem?
You
Okay.
should probably get another monitor. Like, I feel like that's sort of like this first world problem where it's like, you don't have 2 monitors. But like I use the one monitor for, like, for this show. Everyone at home can get a little peek too. Like this monitor here directly in front of me has XSplit and Twitch and then kind of all the show notes. And then the one right next to me has the actual recording software, just full screen, so I can kind of watch it. But when I stream, it's all this stuff gets moved over to the other screen, and then the main monitor is just the game. Man.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah.
I used to have 2 monitors. I don't know. I've had a really weird history with monitors because, like, I started my job 7 years ago and like had dual monitors at the desk. I'm like, I need that, and got dual monitors, but they were like standard size. They weren't widescreen.
Oh yeah.
And so then one of them died, so I just got a widescreen monitor, and I'm like, I kind of want another one, but I don't want to mess with it. This seems good enough.
Yeah.
And
Hold on, I'll be right back.
I need to change that. Definitely.
Hi, I can't take you howling, okay? You behave yourself? Alright. Sorry about that. I'd locked the cat out and she was starting to howl. Hi, come here. Do you want to see? Want everyone see you? Hi. Yeah. You're 19 and you're old and you're grumpy. I know.
I remember I lived with my brother for a while who had a cat, and it was the room I moved into. The cat would, about 3, 4 a.m., would get at the door and start scratching and howling at the door because I had it closed.
Yeah.
And the second I opened the door, he would dash the complete opposite way. And if I left the door open,
here,
then
Sam.
I'd wake up with cat on my face. So,
Isim, your mic just keeps sounding like you're getting farther and farther away into like nothingness.
is that better? Hello?
Yeah, you're awfully quiet. Like before, you had like you were coming across fine, and then
Okay.
you just started to vanish.
Weird. Cord came a little bit loose, but
Come here. Psst, psst, psst.
I don't know. I need all new equipment, honestly. Like, my favorite
that's
mic
all?
died.
just just all new.
Yeah, my mixer is dying. Um, I don't know. Everything seems kind of rough right now.
Well, your
Uh,
voice is coming back, so
Okay,
so what I was
good.
going to suggest for monitors actually is my fiance and I both got these Asus monitors, which are pretty cheap, but they're actually pretty good. The nice thing about monitors nowadays is you can just kind of get any monitor, and they're typically going to be pretty good. I mean, you can spend a lot of money on a really nice one, but you kind of don't have to.
Mm. Like, what's a lot of money? Because the current one I'm using is a LG I got for like $200.
Yeah, I think that's kind of your sweet spot for monitors, or even like 150.
Okay.
Like it's pretty to me. A lot of money for a monitor is like $300.
Yeah. Now I just gotta wait for 2 months for me to have money again.
Yeah,
I am so broke right now. I've not played any new games.
yeah. Okay. You guys ready to start this thing?
I am ready.
Yes.
Okay. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of Picking Up the Pixels. I'm your host, Boston. Going around the room, we have Musum.
Hello.
And we have Mina.
Hello.
And we're having all sorts of technical problems today. So apologies if things sound weird or people disappear or I don't even know what else could happen. So just fair warning. And for all of you listening and everyone watching the live stream, starting next month, we're going to move the recording time back by 3 hours. So it'll be 3 p.m. Pacific, whatever time that is, your time zone. So FYI. I think that's all the business we have to talk about. So, Musum, what have you been playing?
Well, honestly, I haven't been doing much gaming this month.
Yeah, me neither, unfortunately.
It's been like an overtime work year, and when I get home, I basically don't want to do anything, except evidently recheck Facebook and Twitter over and over again,
Well,
and
that's
argue
free,
with people
so
about
that's okay.
X-Men. Yeah. So, I played more Warframe. Yeah, I'm sure everyone's excited to hear more, but let me think. Any news on Warframe? They announced that they're gonna kind of redo the new game thing for people, and it's gonna be a spaceship that you kind of put together, and you can only see like the parts of the galaxy. It looks pretty neat, honestly. Like you will store your pets and stuff in there, and you can see them lounging around. It sounds really, really appealing, and I have a feeling that when it actually gets implemented here in a couple months, that I will probably start encouraging new players to play it again, because I bet it'll add a lot to it. But
Yeah.
I quit my clan and joined another clan because I got tired of not having any of the clan stuff because I was the only active player. But that's about it on Warframe. I tried to play more of The Witcher, but man, I should have followed whoever's advice it was in the TVGP forums and not done all the side quests in Chapter 2, because every time I go back in Chapter 3, I'm just like, I do not want to play this game.
I'm so over. I saw some sort of trailer or something for The Witcher 3. I was like, oh man, this game looks good. So today I made probably what's going to be a mistake and installed The Witcher on my desktop again. I need to find some sort of Something Awful is really good. Their forums are really good for, hey, this game is complicated, but here's how to play it to kind of get what it's all about. So I need to find one of those guides where it's like, hey, The Witcher is really rough at the beginning and it kind of sucks for a long time. Here's what you need to do to kind of get through it and kind of get to the enjoyable parts. So if anyone in the forums has something like that, send it over. This will be, I think, my 5th time trying to start The Witcher.
Yeah, if you look at the TVGP game thread, like they give a lot of good advice in there. I just didn't take most of it.
Ah, okay.
Um,
That's the key difference.
yeah, no, they were like, don't do the side quests in 2, just mainline it and this and that. And I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do all this. How am I supposed to know? I didn't realize until halfway through chapter 2 there was a button that I could press that would only show me the story missions.
Oh,
It's I don't know. There are a lot of neat aspects about that game, but I'm really I don't know. I'm really excited for The Witcher 3, but now when I look at the Witcher 3 trailers, I see certain parts of 1 that I really dislike.
no.
And I know they probably aren't really there, and I'm just like seeing the same animation or something, but I don't know. I got to get back to it because the detective aspects of it are really neat. The world's really neat. Most of the characters are pretty good, even if they're all horribly evil, horrible people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't really get anywhere in chapter 3. Basically, I went to some party and said the wrong thing to one of the NPCs, and then thought I'll reload it, and then it turned out that my last save was like an hour ago because for some reason, like it periodically auto saves whenever you transition from scene to scene, but it doesn't seem to always do that.
Weird.
So I didn't have an autosave before I entered the party or before I entered the tavern. My last save was like from an hour or so ago, which isn't bad, but it was enough to make me not play any more of the game that day.
Yeah.
So this morning I decided I really need to find something else to talk about than all the games that I always talk about. So I installed Icewind Dale on my computer.
Oh.
I've never actually played Icewind Dale. I was a big Baldur's Gate fan back in the day, and I always loved the idea that I heard about Icewind Dale because it seemed like a throwback to the old Bard's Tale or Wizardry games where you'll have a town, just a big dungeon to explore with lots of kind of your whole entire story taking place in the dungeon and having this fully, like a full 6 characters that you get to make up yourself, which is also appealing.
Yeah.
But I forgot, in typical second edition D&D fashion, that most of my time this morning would be spent creating those characters, especially hitting the roll on the stats buttons, because it's like I don't remember a ton about second edition D&D aside from the words Thaco, which is basically a curse word. You should probably go back and bleep that out, Boston.
I'll write it down.
And they do this thing where you pick a class, like let's say you pick, I don't know, Paladin. Well, guess what? To get all the Paladin spells and combat stuff, then you have to have like an 18 on your charisma or something like that, or wisdom. But at the same time, you're a Paladin, so you have to be good at combat. So to do decent damage, you need a 17 or 18 on your strength stat. But since you're a fighter in the front, you also need a lot of endurance so you don't die. So you wind up hitting the reroll button just so you can get stats that are 16 and up on 3 or 4 different stats per class, which is a giant pain to do. And I'm sure some D&D buffs will tell me I'm wrong, but I've played games where I was I'm a ranger with only 17 dex and 16 strength, and I can barely hit anyone, and it's ridiculous. Well, I mean, I can hit them; it just doesn't hardly do any damage. But I don't know. I guess what makes it so hard is that those stats don't change throughout the game. You're stuck with them.
Oh, okay.
Which is maybe something they changed in later, or maybe you do get a stat bonus or 2 in the game, but it won't be. It's just like, here you went up 10 levels, have +1 to 1 stat. You know, it's very seldom if it happens. But
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I got into town, and it was, I don't know, I loved it. It was, started out in a tavern, and the guy's like, "Hi, stranger, I'm going to tell you everything about the town all at once. And when you're done poking about the town, come talk to me, and I'll give you a quest." And I went and talked to the innkeeper, and they're like, "Oh, I can't give you any beer because there are rats down there. Can you go kill the rats?" Yeah, I'll go do that.
Go figure.
This is nostalgia alley for me. This is like all the games from back then.
Yeah.
So I went and killed the rats and discovered all my guys were equipped with staves for some reason.
Okay.
So none of them had the weapon proficiencies for it. So went next door where there was a guy selling stuff. He was a big jerk, and I treated him like a jerk, which probably wasn't the best idea, but whatever.
Hey man, you're a jerk. I'm treating you like a jerk. Whatevs.
Yeah, felt good. And
Yeah.
he didn't seem to drive up the prices, but I could be wrong. I might have paid
Never the
insane
wiser.
prices. Yeah.
Okay. It's slamming doors. Thanks, Wayne.
Anyway, so that's about all I got done on that game. Then I played some more Diablo 3 with Susie.
Oh, nice.
And that game is still pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We're on chapter 2 now. I can't really think of anything else eventful to say about it. I'm just happy to have a game that my wife wants to play with me every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know that I have anything to add to the Diablo 3 conversation. So
Still a
that's
good
it for
game.
me. Yep.
All right, Mina. What to help save this show? What have you been playing anything good? I hope, because I haven't.
So, I'm sure anybody who's watched my Twitter feed would notice that for 2 weeks I was without a computer.
Yeah.
Tough times. So all the games I wanted to stream, and not only that, we started PUP late last week, so like I had very few time on my hands to actually play something that I wanted to play. And what I wanted to play when I first got it back up was Dark Souls 2, because
Yay.
I was in the middle of killing stuff and doing stuff, and I found out that Dark Souls 2 does not have cloud saving.
Ah, crap.
And I did not save my Dark Souls 2 save because I remembered from Dark Souls 1 that it was saved. Games for Windows Live kept it.
Oh, yeah.
So my brain assumed that Dark Souls 2 would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Is not the case.
Yeah.
So any feelings of wanting to go back to Dark Souls 2 has been killed, because that's 47 hours I've
Holy.
invested. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, I have to do all of that stuff I did all over again. And I mean, I know the big part about Dark Souls and the Souls games in general is, you know, going back and replaying it. But the thing was that first time experience of going through and hitting all the new areas, I now have to go back and do that all again
Yeah.
to get back to where I was, and I don't feel like it.
That seems pretty horrible, but to make a joke at your expense, the real Dark Souls starts here.
I know, right? So
That sucks so bad.
Well,
I don't
especially
think
for
I'd ever...
streaming it, too, because, like, everyone who watched it
Yeah.
originally is just going to be like, okay, we're just doing this again. Great.
that's what kills me too. Is I had a lot of people who were really enjoying the stream. There were actually there were a bunch of guys who watched my stream and were like, you know what? We're all gonna make characters, make them look exactly like your character,
Oh, wow.
same build and everything, and we're just gonna go around helping people, because unlike the console or previous version game for Windows Live, you don't have a single identity. It just copies whatever name you actually use for the character name. So there could be like 4 Minas running around that look exactly like me, same build, same hair, everything,
Oh, crazy.
but they're not me. But they went around, they were like, we're gonna go help people under your name, and I was like,
Agents of Justice.
that was pretty cool. But
Yeah.
now I'm like, oh, I have to do all of it. I don't feel like it. So
Yeah.
I've kind of decided I don't want to do that. Not right now.
I think-
Maybe later.
I think that's
Not now.
okay.
Yeah. So during the 2 weeks that I didn't have a computer, and since I couldn't play anything that I was streaming because I didn't want people to just pick up and go like, did I miss a couple things? What's going on? Why are you here?
Yeah.
I picked up Dragon Quest V and Dragon Quest VIII at the same time.
Ooh.
My reason being is in Dragon Quest VIII, I always get stuck at the same part, and if anybody else gets stuck at this, I bet you get stuck at the same part as me. And it's right after you get to the point in the game where you have a means of travel that is faster, or well, takes you more places than normal. I don't want to spoil it, but anyways, you get the transportation,
Mm-hmm.
and right there is where I inevitably every single time quit playing the game. And it's not because I don't want to continue the game. It's not because of anything like that. It's because the first enemies I encounter have like insta kill moves.
Oh yeah, there was something weird about that game where I think as soon as you got to that point, the game was sort of like, I don't know, you'll figure out where you need to go. It's like,
Yes,
but
that's exactly
I don't know
when the
where that
game is
is.
so linear. When the game is like you're basically going like point A to point B. You know where you're going on the map because there's a road you're following,
Yeah,
right? And then it's like you need to go west, and I'm like west where? West, there's no more
yeah,
road,
like
there's
West
no more
Village.
like there's this huge world I need to go, and you just said this very vague
Yeah,
go west. So I was pretty convinced with myself that what I was going to do was first I was going to look up a guide. Second, I was going to read through like the up to the point where I got in the game and figure out what was going on. I found out I must have been playing this game on the hardest way possible after I read through that guide. I was like, "You mean you can learn this attack if you go down this path?" And I basically learned like um this punch move that does AoE damage, that does more damage than a single hit with any of my other abilities.
oh wow.
But it's an AoE. And it's like the three characters I had could learn it. And I was like, what? If I just
Weird.
went down that path? But the game also tries to do crazy stuff to you that tries to trick you anyways. Like you start out, your main hero starts out with a sword, your second character starts out with an I want to say like a club, and the third character you gets a whip.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a sword on your main character is fine, but getting a spear does way more for you in the
Yeah.
early game. But you don't get a spear until you hit like the third or fourth city or something like that. But if you don't put points into that, and it's real slow getting points, so if you don't put points into that at the start, you're kind of slowing down your progress. Now you start out with that club on your second character, but the club is like you don't even get the best attack on the club is at the very end of the skill points. You have to dump all 100 skill points into getting that club.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you could be working on anything else, and you're better, but they just don't even sell the weapons that you should be getting, but you're getting skill points for it. So
Yeah.
after reading through,
that game is super good, but there's so much stuff at the end of that game where you're like, oh, I should have been playing this totally differently this entire time. Like, it won't really lock you out of anything super serious, except for, I think, the very last optional boss, but it's just sort of like, oh, well, I would have liked for this whole game to be easier, I guess.
yeah, that game is and I like Dragon Quest IX, which is the one that we brought up, I think, the previous podcast.
Mm-hmm.
The DS one, the Wi-Fi network shut down, so you can't do a lot of the stuff on it anymore.
Bummer.
Uh, but I really like that game because you weren't really locked into anything too dramatic. Like it was pretty easy to grind out anything. Dragon Quest VIII, you start going down the wrong path, and it's like you keep digging your grave deeper and deeper. And once I read through the guide, I was like, you know what, I'm smarter now, and this is going to be easier. And it was right. And once I got to that point where I needed to traverse west, I died 2 times, and I finally figured out where I was supposed to go. And I was like, I know it said go west, but they could have done something to better guide me here. Like maybe a small hint that I was heading in the right direction. Kind of like I don't know, something that said to me as the player, this is where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
Because going too far south or too far north or too far whatever way leads to enemies that can one-shot you.
Yeah.
And that's not fun.
Yeah, that Dragon Quest VIII is so good. It just, at certain points, it's sort of like, well, this is weird. Why is this happening?
Absolutely. And I wanted to point out that the game is now available apparently on mobile phones.
Yes.
So
It's supposed to be actually pretty okay, but I heard the frame rate is rather low.
I can't imagine. I don't even know how they put that game on a mobile phone, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing. They're like, Dragon Quest 8 is coming out, and I was like, you mean 6? Because I could understand that, but not that was a PS2 game. That doesn't sound right.
Yet that's the one that's there. So
Crazy.
I played that one. I also played Dragon Quest V, which
What's the subtitle for that one? Is that the Heavenly Bride one?
Yes, Hand of
Yeah.
the Heavenly Bride.
I played that one. I liked that one a lot.
I like that. So I think I'm like right at the final boss area. I'm pretty sure I'm right there. I don't know for certain, but
Is it like a volcano-y area?
yeah, I'm kind of like I'm
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
So
I got all the way to the final boss and tried about 6 or 7 times to beat it, he, she. I don't remember what the final boss even was, and I couldn't. And I was like, I'm okay. I'm good.
I've seen everything here.
Yeah, I'm tapping out
Okay.
now.
I'm right there. I've been trying to basically kill and level up my characters and all the enemies around me, and I'm just trying to like really grind that out before I hit the final boss, because I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to play Hand of the Heavenly Bride for a while.
Yeah.
So that game has a recruitment system. And,
that's right.
yes, you recruit monsters.
Yeah.
And in particular, I was very determined to get a metal slime.
Mhm.
Or I'm actually trying to catch all the monsters. I'm trying to remember the exact drop rate or recruitment rate of a metal slime, but it's like 1 out of 256 chance.
Yeah, it's stupidly low.
It's something like that. And if you've played any of the Dragon Quests and you know anything about metal slimes, they typically don't like to stick around.
Yeah.
So the way recruitment works in that game is the last recruitable monster killed, and it has to be killed. You cannot banish it. There's several banish type things that like instantly kill it, but banishing is very different from whatever it's called. I don't remember. There's an exact word here. I don't remember. But anyways, the last recruitable monster you kill is the one that has a chance to join. So metal slimes typically show up with other enemies.
Yeah.
And if the other enemy on the field is a recruitable enemy, you have to make sure you kill that one first and then kill the metal slime.
Oh man.
I don't remember at what point the metal slime finally joined, but I was like, okay, I've been farming this for like 16 hours.
Just save the game and go to bed.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. And I made a save right before you get to the point where you choose your bride.
Oh yeah.
Because I figure one day I'll pick it up and I'll finish recruiting all the enemies in the game. But I had recruited any enemy you could possibly recruit up until right there, and I made a save, and I'm like, this is the gold save. This is the save we don't touch.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I have a completionist problem. Anyways, I really like that game, and I think out of all of the Dragon Quest games in the entire series, if you have to pick up one, you're only going to play one, and you're going to be like, this is going to be the one that's going to define the entire series on. I would say 5 is probably the one you want to get. It has the best story. It has a pretty decent battle system. It has everything you would want from the Dragon Quest series. Barring that, I would go for 9, which is, it has a pretty interesting story, but at the same time, it's not treading anything new to me because it's very biblical. So it's pretty much following.
If you played any RPGs before, it's like, oh, okay, this is where it's going.
It's extremely biblical.
Yeah.
But so those were the 2 Dragon Quest games I played. The third game I played was one that I realized it had come out like about 2 days afterwards. Mine Zero.
Oh yeah, I haven't picked that up yet.
Stop me if you've heard this before. All right.
Okay.
This game starts out and you see two detectives. One of them's kind of more hard-boiled, and the other one's kind of a goof, kind of, you know, oh, I was planning to go hang out with some girls and stuff and meet them, and the other one's like, knock it off. We have work to do.
Knock it off, rookie.
So, and then you meet your main character, who is pretty much cool Mr. McCool guy, and he has a pretty bombastic female friend who's pretty much into this whole, you know, rock'em sock'em beat 'em sort of thing.
I was just about to make a joke, say, oh, and they're in the town of Inaba.
and the scene was raining. Actually, I think the scene was actually raining.
Someone
when I was
dead on top of a telephone pole.
Not yet. So you then meet
Does
your
the
third.
protagonist remember who he is?
I don't know, it's so fuzzy.
So you meet your third friend, who is a male close best friend sort of personality, and he is really into this investigation team to hunt down ghosts that you keep seeing behind people and stuff, and so you go and start running around doing that. Well, at some point you get like your life in danger or whatever. You get taken to another world, another plane, another place,
To find
whatever.
your true self.
I'm almost getting there. And the person there tells you have to pick a weapon, and only one weapon is the right weapon for you, and you basically pick the person who's going to be your mirror self, and if you pick wrong, you die, but if you pick right, you are now able to like summon your mirror self.
Jeez.
And I believe they actually call it the mirror self or something like that at some point. And then I'm playing this game, and the entire time I'm thinking, oh, this is from Persona 4. Oh, this is from Persona 3. Oh
Yeah.
no, this is from Persona 2, Eternal Punishment. Right here. I'm like, oh my gosh, this screen right here looks exactly like the detective agency in
Yeah.
Persona 2. And then it's like, I'm sitting there going like, this game feels like, I mean, I knew it looked very Persona-like,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm sitting there going like, does this game have any original ideas yet?
Yeah, it's more like a Persona gumbo. It's like, I don't know, we took all these ideas and just tossed them together. Yay, mine zero.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if you're craving for something Persona-like, I mean, this thing might scratch that itch. It looks and feels like a Persona game. I'm not too keen on the voice acting. I'm hoping it's going to grow on me. There's dual audio, but for some reason, I am really not liking either, and this is a rarity for me.
Yeah, wow.
Where I'm just like, I don't like the Japanese audio, and I do not like the American audio. But then again, maybe that's because they were trying to mimic the Japanese audio, that they picked these voices, and I'm like, I don't know, it's something I really don't like this.
I don't like any of this.
But I don't know. The game has like a request board system similar to Persona 2. The kind of overworld map is very much like the whole Persona portable sort of way of moving around, but yet it's got kind of like the different areas you jump around, like in it's a Persona 1, like the SMT games, yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. The dungeons are very much the dungeon crawlers. All the enemies so far at the beginning look exactly the same. I don't know. I wonder how many different enemy types there are. I'm
So there's
hoping.
really like nothing original about the game so far.
I don't think it's got switching personas or fusing personas. I don't think it has that. I'm pretty sure you're just stuck with the one you got.
Hmm.
Boy, it sounds like it's kind of okay, just not really. I mean, it sounds like, well, why wouldn't you just play Persona 4 Golden?
I think that's kind of my thing is like I'm playing it and I'm thinking in my head like if you had the option to pick Persona 4 Golden or Mind Zero, I hope you would pick Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah.
If you're like persona'd out and you're like I just want a different persona, then I guess Mind Zero works. I don't know. Maybe the story's gonna get pretty different. I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm part of the ghost investigation team, and we are investigating the ghosts. And
So
and
weird.
I swear your partner who is like the most enthusiastic guy ever. I'm just like every time I'm near saying like Yosuke, knock it off.
Yeah, calm down, Yosuke. Come on.
I'm like Chie, what? Why
Yeah.
are you not Chie?
Yeah. Man, so weird.
And then of course you got like the old guy with you. The old guy who I actually don't know if he's in his 30s, but he's the old guy.
He's probably like 22 knowing JRPGs.
And I don't know. The game's interesting. So the last game I played, and I will obviously not be talking about the story parts of it for any reason at all. I don't know if people have been seeing it pop up in the Twitter feed, but I've been playing Persona Q.
Oh, yeah.
On the Japanese 3DS.
Yeah, I got an email that you started streaming Persona Q, and I was like, oh, I want to watch it, but I can't. No.
This game. I can't wait.
Two great tastes that taste great together.
It's fantastic. I like the music outside of the dungeons, like when you're, because I'm not going to talk about the story at all, so this is just going to be like mechanics and things that I'm enjoying about the game. So the music outside of the dungeons appears to be very Persona, like that's your Persona music. The moment you hit dungeons and start going down floors and stuff, you hit Etrian Odyssey. It's Etrian
Ooh,
Odyssey.
nice.
Yeah, so, and I want to say like the battle music is kind of Persona-like. I mean, it's a very nice. It's harmonizing, really. I really like it. So
here's a question: did they
yes.
include the what is it? What do they call them? Not AOE's.
FOEs?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, they put out a trailer a couple weeks ago about the FOEs.
yes,
Did
very
they do
early.
that same throw food down to get to them to go one place and you run around them?
I haven't done anything like that yet, but I've only seen 2 kinds of FOEs from where I'm at. I started the game on normal, played around with the settings. I started as the Yu Narukami to see what that side was like.
That's
And
the Persona 4 main character, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes, Persona 4 main character. So I started that side to see what it's like. So for future reference, when you start out that side, you only start with one person who starts with the heal spell.
Ooh.
So just little heads
Yikes.
up warning. Yeah. So like that side's kind of rough in the beginning, I want to say. Things get better, but I'm just like, don't let Yukiko leave your party until
Yeah.
you get a second healer.
Can you switch between sides at any time?
So the game at the very beginning makes you pick one of the main characters and you name them, and you play that side. And I haven't yet gotten to the part where the two personas inevitably meet because that they're going to have to.
Yeah, I think that's sort of a foregone conclusion.
Right. And they also save themselves by making sure that you name both main characters. So
Oh, okay. So both of
you-
them can be Charlie Tanoku.
Right. So you play through that side. The game kind of forces you to start with a group, and it always makes sure that the healer is in your party.
Nice.
Rise and Fuka are fundamentally different with their main personas, the way they work. I want to say Fuka gets a heal, and it looks like Rise gets a buff at the start, like to give your party. So, again, this is where I'm telling you that the main character 3 side is getting more heals.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty. I really like it. The battle system feels like a good mesh of Etrian Odyssey and Persona. I mean, if you look at it, the way you identify enemy weaknesses and drops and all their conditions is based on you having to experience yourself. So it's kind of like the Persona 4 in terms of weakness chart.
Oh, okay.
So there's no like identify like in Persona 3. So it's cast the spell, see if it actually, does something,
Yeah.
and it'll remember it. So whenever you like go back in to use that attack again, it'll let you know, oh, this is weak. Oh, this is block.
Oh, nice.
So that's the default there. The way you, because I run out of MP real fast, or SP. Whenever you do any sort of weakness or hit on an enemy, you get a boost. And what boost does is it's a free cost anything. So free
Ooh.
cost HP ability, free cost SP ability. Good. So if you happen, like, for example, Chie has, like, I'm guessing, because I can't read what this kanji is and I have no idea what it says. I'm guessing it's like bash or something, right?
Yeah.
And
some sort of kick.
Yeah, and her default attack is a blunt. They're both blunt skills. So if she goes in and does a regular punch, which costs nothing, or just a regular attack, and it's weak to it, then she gets a boost, and then I can do the bash, which doesn't cost me anything. So I can just repeat bash over and over and over, provided that it hits and all's good,
Wow.
and it doesn't cost me anything, and she gets to use a devastating attack. I really like it, and I can't wait for everybody to play
Yeah. I'm so excited. I don't even know if I can pre-order it yet. Now I'm gonna go look.
You can't. I was just looking.
yeah, I'm already gonna tell you this is gonna be an amazing game. I can already tell based on what I've played. So there's 5 difficulties. There's safety, easy, normal, hard, and risky. Hard and risky enforce the main character death rule. So,
Oh no.
Main character dies, game over.
Yeah.
What this game does do, or at least I wish I could read what this kanji is actually saying. When I had the main character die on a floor that I hadn't, I was like still mapping the floor, but I died, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to remap that floor. It looks like it let me remember the entire floor, even though I hadn't saved or anything. So
I think that's an Etrian Odyssey 4 thing.
So okay, that carries over.
Yeah, I think that's one
nice.
of the. I think they changed that in. I think it was 3 or 4, if I remember, just to say like, yeah, you died, but if you can get back, if you want to like pay the penalty and then go all the way back down, you still have your map.
Yeah, because I was like, I just looked up that entire map.
Yeah. I'm glad they kept that though.
Oh yeah, me too, because going from one floor to the next floor, there is a jump in difficulty.
Oh yeah, that was what surprised me about Etrian Odyssey 4. Was like, I'm just going to the next floor, and I'm like, oh, I'm dead. Okay,
like,
well, great.
Yeah, I was kind of like, shouldn't there have been like some scaling here? So it's pretty.
Pretty
just
faithful,
be careful.
Sounds like.
Yeah. And you know what? There is no reason once you hit a new floor, just turn around, go back and save, because when you go back into the labyrinth, it's like, oh, do you want to go back to the second floor? Start on the second floor? You don't want to. We'll just skip the first floor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, I want to skip the first floor.
Yeah.
Just let me see if I can handle the second floor, and if not, I'll turn around. I can kill stuff on the first floor. It'll work.
Yeah.
I think they've added or changed around some of the personas. Not the main ones, but like the other ones you get in the game. Like
Oh, like
I'm
all
looking at
the
them like
200, 300 personas?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they either pulled some old ones and kind of remodeled them or retooled them, or
I feel
they're
like they
new
do that
ones.
every Persona game where they're like, yeah, this guy's not fire anymore, now he's something else.
Right.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah.
It really threw me off when I first got into the SMT games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there have been retoolings, new ones, new character art, and it. So it looks like they kept like a lot of the old ones though. Like I met Slime. I got Slime, and
Yeah.
I was like,
Old
I
buddy
remember
Slime.
you. Um, I think this game's gonna be great. And there's all sorts of character conversations going on based on who's in your party. They seem to all talk and interact with each other differently.
Nice.
So, I see a lot of you get Kanji and Naoto together, you're going to get some conversation between those two.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Chie and Yosuke. There's going to be some snipping back and forth. So
yeah.
it's really nice. I'm really happy about this game. I really can't wait for it to actually come out. For everybody else, I won't be talking about it anymore.
The
I will be
Atlas
playing
webpage
it.
says it's coming out in North America in fall 2014, so
Yes.
we're actually pretty close to that.
Yay.
We're at the halfway point through the year, so hopefully we don't have too much longer. Maybe they'll talk about it next week at E3.
Well, and they seem to really be pushing the Persona 4 Ultramax, whatever it's called.
Yes. They
So-
paid for the E3 badges again this year. This is their 4th year running.
yeah, they have the, it looks like it's Dancing All Night as
Yep.
the badge this year, which is really making me sad that I'm not going to E3 this year, as I would really like that badge.
Teddy and the Disco Ball.
Yeah, that's a pretty great one.
I think they said that they were going to have it there. I know that they announced their their pinball title. I wanted to
Oh, really?
let you know, boss. Yeah, they're bringing. I forget what it's called. Oh shoot, I remember them announcing it. So Atlas is working with another developer for this pinball game, and it's really weird because it's like this pinball game where you level up the pinball ball characters and
Rollers of the Realm.
yes,
Well,
Rollers
I've
of the
never
Realm.
even heard of Rollers of the Realm.
It looks like some sort of weird RPG pinball.
Now I gotta look this up. This is crazy.
I don't know what to call it. But it's like the enemies will attack your little flippers.
Wow, this is crazy.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just recently saw it and I was like, I don't know.
Coming to PS4, PS Vita, and PC.
Yes.
Wow. This holiday. Yeah, it's Atlas is teaming up with them to make this. They're teaming up with Phantom Compass to make this crazy pinball RPG. It looks like.
But yeah, I was like, oh, okay, because I saw like on the list of things that they were gonna be bringing to E3, there was an unannounced title, and I was like, unannounced title, what are they bringing? Because like, what haven't they announced yet?
Yeah, like what you guys have been talking about everything.
Yeah. Oh,
Man, that's crazy.
I'm happy they're finally talking about the Fire Emblem SMT crossover.
Oh, are they
Like-
bringing that to E3?
I believe so
Nice.
because they brought it up, and I was like, oh, okay, finally,
All
because
right, yeah, let's
you
get
know-
some info.
we've been waiting on that.
Yeah,
I kind of derailed this whole thought about
that's
Persona
okay.
Q.
I love talking about really weird games.
So, that's about it for Persona Q. I probably won't be bringing it up at all, period, because I really I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. Difficulty-wise, I did play through normal, and what I did like about normal was playing it. I was like, okay, somebody who has, is just basically trying to push through this game without like having to learn too much of the mechanics or like too much of anything and just kind of dive right in. Normal seems perfect if
Yeah.
you're just kind of like at the place where I understand how JRPGs should work, and I'm trying to fumble through this. Normal's perfect. Plus,
Yeah.
it doesn't enforce main character death. So, you know,
Yeah.
no rude awakenings there where you're like, oh, I have to make sure I keep this guy alive.
Ugh.
Um, hard though, yeah.
Yeah,
It
probably a little
enforces-
too much.
Yeah. So I think for those people who are just like, I've played Etrian Odyssey or I've played Persona, but I haven't played the other one, but I'm one of those, I want to go in with a challenge. Hard kind of works.
Oh yeah.
And risky seems to be like, I am doing no damage and the enemies are doing all the damage, and every normal fight is a struggle, let alone an FOE.
Jeez.
So, yeah. I did die on the first enemy, the tutorial enemy. That was pretty cool.
Well, Etrian Odyssey doesn't mess around. I mean, that was what surprised me the most about Etrian Odyssey 4. I was like, oh, this should be easy, and I think I died during the tutorial too, because I was like, oh, this is they're really not messing around. All right.
Yeah. You get to see FOEs pretty much right away, though, Musim, so I was pretty happy about that.
Well, I'm I'm not an FOE fan.
Oh, I thought you were concerned about it.
I
Okay.
was concerned. Like, that's actually why I quit playing 4, was because I had to figure out the right food to feed these FOEs to get to the next section of the map. So I guess I will actually have to learn that because I really want to play
Well,
Persona Q.
That's actually a really good kind of non-story question. Does it have like an overworld map like Etrian Odyssey 4 had?
No, it's so like you're at a school and I'm pretty sure it's the Persona 4 world.
Yasogami High, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're there. It's got to be cuz the way everybody dresses has that uniform.
Right.
And the reason why I was confused is because the Persona 3 cast gets taken there pretty like instantly too, so I was kind of like, oh, what's going on? Okay. 'Cause I can't read kanji, so if you guys aren't talking, I really can't read it.
Yeah.
If you guys would just not use kanji, I could read it. But so it's kind of like a menu-based selection. Like you click this, and it takes you to the hospital, which is where the not hospital, the nurse's office, and that's where you kind of do your everybody heal up sort of thing that costs money. And then you've got like the item, weapon, armor shop that
okay.
you go to.
Yeah, it's like
so
the main town from Etrian Odyssey 4.
yeah, but you don't really walk around. It's just like menu selection. So
That sounds like it's a lot more appealing for people like Musum and I that were sort of like, okay, I just want to just give me a list of dungeons in the town. I don't want to fly around this map and
yeah,
lure enemies away to get to a dungeon.
Yeah,
that
no.
was unpleasant.
Yeah, that was not. I thought that would be fun at the beginning, and then it very quickly became non-fun.
yeah, no, it doesn't have that. At least
Good.
not where I'm at. It's like you're inside the school and you go to where the dungeon is by menu selection.
Oh, good. So it
So-
sounds a lot more linear, which usually we'd be like, oh, I can't believe, but that's okay.
I really like the dungeons. I don't think this. Maybe it was in Etrian Odyssey 4, but I didn't see them, at least in the dungeons I was in. A lot of times when you go through a path, it's a one-way path. You can't turn around and go back the path you came.
Yeah, no, they have those.
Yeah, they had some of
Okay.
Yeah.
All of the paths in there. It starts out as a one-way, but once you go through it, you can go back the way you came.
that. Yeah, there were a couple dungeons in EO4 that were like that. There was always some like weird storyline reason where it's like, oh, there's mist behind you or something. But yeah, there were a couple that were like that.
Yeah,
Right.
they actually that's actually kind of a trope in all those kind of I don't even know what you call those games, but they're Bard's Tale and Wizardry.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
Like Strange Journey had it
First
and all
person
that.
dungeon crawlers.
You'll eventually hit a spinner, so you'll hit a square and then exit not the way you meant to exit the square.
Have
Yeah,
you come
they'll-
across any of those?
Yeah.
They'll probably have some areas that will not let you map it or make mapping extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Uh,
Man, I really have to go back and play Strange Journey. I always really thought that was going to be great, and I never got around to it.
I really liked it until I got to the area that wasn't letting me map.
Whoops.
And then I was like, I really don't want to memorize this. Maybe I'll come back later. But
Yeah.
it's later and I'm not back yet.
Yeah.
The mapping system's really good. I remember how EO4's mapping system worked, but I'm really liking this one even more than I like that one, because there's this icon, and I don't know what it's called. To me, it's weird circle icon number 4 or whatever it is. Because there's a lot of like arrows you can put down. You can put down arrows, but this thing, it looks like a circle.
Yeah.
And when you drop it down on one of those areas where you can go through the wall or whatever, bush, whatever it may be,
Mhm.
in whatever scenario you're
It's like
looking
a
at.
fake wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you drop it down, it'll show you that the arrow is going one way. Once you go through that way, the little circle the circle that turned into an arrow will turn into a double arrow, showing you that you can go back and forth now.
Oh,
I really like
interesting.
it. I didn't place that down. I just placed a circle.
Yeah, and it just figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like even from a distance, when I drop that little circle down, even if I'm not right up against that area, but I can see that wall is going to be one of those ones that I can pass through, it automatically turns it into an arrow. So
Well, that's nice.
I didn't even need to walk up there and look at it. It just does it.
That sounds appealing.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like they made kind of some good changes from EO4. I never really played that remake they did of 1, the something.
Millennium Girl?
Yeah.
Millennium Girl. Yeah.
I don't think I can ever play that remake because I'm so far in one already.
Yeah, like why?
like,
Why could you start back over?
If they give me a save game transfer, sure.
Yeah,
But
that'd be
like
nice.
that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
The auto mapping feature works pretty good too, and it also, when you're looking down at the map, it kind of tells you where all the walls are. Like you've got like a field of vision, and it kind of goes and draws like a line through areas, and it's like there is a wall here. I don't know. I really like it, and there's way more things you can do with the map. You can paint the floors.
Yeah, I did that a lot in EO4. Like wherever there's ground, I was doing green. Where there was water, I was doing blue. And originally I was like, this is dumb, but eventually I was like, oh, okay, there's an FOE over there, but there's water, so they definitely can't get around. So I just like drawing maps.
There's like 10 colors or whatever. You can just paint the floor, and I was just painting floors because I was just like, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's really cool that you can place down chests too. So like if you see a chest over in an area but you haven't gotten to it yet,
Yeah.
you drop the little chest icon and it shows that the chest is closed. When you open the chest, the little chest icon turns into an open chest.
Yeah.
So I know I haven't gotten that chest.
Yeah, that
That's
was
awesome.
important in EO4 because there were a couple of side quests that said, hey, go back to this area. You've probably already opened the chest, but go back to that chest and then inspect it, and then there's something secret like under it or under a hidden compartment or something. So
Right.
throwing down the actual icons became very quickly very useful.
And another thing about map completion, 100% map completion will unlock a chest on the floor.
Oh, man, that's
Somewhere.
going to destroy me.
So, well, I've got good news for you. You can use Nintendo Play coins or whatever to 100% a floor.
Oh, crazy.
So if you're just like, I just want to move on and I don't care about 100%ing this map, now the person in me cannot not map and
Yeah.
paint the floors and draw the lines. But if you're the type of person who's like, you know what, I just want the item in this chest and I want to go on to the next floor and I don't care about 100% map completion and having everything colored in right,
Yeah.
just pay the play coins and move on.
Yeah.
I've had maxed out play coins for so long.
Yeah.
Just gotta wait for that floor I don't care about and then just do it.
Yeah.
You're like, this floor has nothing but stupid enemies everywhere and FOEs that are trying to kill me. I just want to open the chest.
Man,
Play coins activate.
crazy. I'm
So-
so excited for that game.
I really like it, and I think it's taken like the best parts of both games and just kind of made a nice little happy marriage of them.
Yeah.
And I think if you're like a Persona fan who wants to experience some Etrian Odyssey or vice versa, this is probably like the best way to jump in.
Yeah.
And I would say though that if you're just like probably you're like I don't know about that only one healer for a little while, probably lean more towards the Persona 3 main character, the blue-haired guy, because not only does companions to start with, to work with, he's got a support that helps do a regen effect across everybody.
Oh, nice.
Although you'll never find me going that way because Rise is on the other side. So
Yeah.
sorry. I gotta get Chie, Rise, and the team that I love. We're
Yeah.
investigating.
Get all the cool peeps.
That's about it about Persona 4. I know we're gonna be talking about it when this game actually does come out.
Oh, yeah.
All of us, right, Newsom?
Yes.
Somehow.
All right. What have you been playing, Boston?
Oh, okay. I have. It's been kind of a crazy month with my fiance and I moving, so not a lot of stuff that I've played. But I played probably at the first hour and change of Child of Light, Ubisoft's RPG that they put out. I don't particularly like it very much. I think for we talk a lot on the show about starter RPGs. I think if you're curious about the JRPG genre, I think Child of Light is a really good starting point. It's pretty easy. The battle system is Grandia. If you've played that game, and any of those games, it's totally Grandia. It looks astoundingly great because it uses the UbiArt engine, but the biggest problem I have with it is everything, all of the text in the game is very rhymey. It's very, it's almost all, very poetic. But they don't keep the same poetic style throughout the entire game. So they're changing styles up all the time, and it just, for some reason, it just got really under my skin. I sounds like something that's really dumb, but I don't. And honestly, it was really easy. I think the default difficulty, they're gonna patch it eventually to rename the difficulties. It was something like normal and hard, and they're changing it to casual and expert, I think, which is as much as I usually don't like using the word casual, I think that's a lot more apt, because it's very much for difficulties, very much for someone who doesn't have very much experience with JRPGs in general. I mean, it's pretty easy, but I want to get back to it eventually and play more. I'll probably play it remote play on the Vita because even if you have connection issues, who cares? It doesn't really matter. But it's okay. I don't know that I had high expectations for a Canadian developed JRPG, but it's more competent than I would have thought, and I think if anyone isn't bothered by any of the text, you'll probably really enjoy it, but I'll probably skip through most of the rest of the story. It's not very interesting overall. I have been trying to sneak as much Diablo 3 in as I can between, moving house, cleaning new house, stuff like that. I think, we've talked about it for a while, and I've talked about it probably more than I should have on TVGP. But Soulman, one of the members of the community, tweeted me the other day and said, now I know why you're playing so much Diablo 3. Adventure mode is like an entirely different game. And it really is. And I've taken the opportunity to create a couple more characters. I leveled up a witch doctor to 70. I've been leveling up a barbarian and a wizard. So I'm kind of going through all the classes. And there's just... Diablo 3 is one of those games that I like, that I can just kind of come home from a long day of work, and then Sonoma ABG in chat says +1 Diablo 3 heart. It's one of those games I can just kind of come home from work at the end of the day and just kind of turn my brain off and enjoy for a while. That's not saying that Diablo 3 isn't good, but it's kind of one of those comfort food games that you need every once in a while. When I go back to play Castlevania Symphony of the Night or Chrono Trigger, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I have this whole thing memorized, but it's just it's just a great game that I just love playing. So if you haven't played Diablo 3 yet, you should, because it's a really great game that I apparently can't stop playing. And the last game I played for probably about a little over an hour, almost 2 hours, until it crashed and corrupted my save on PS4, Transistor, which I was surprised. I kind of put myself on media blackout. I did not realize was just a full-on strategy RPG. It is a non-grid based strategy RPG.
Boston pops it in, and he's like, "What is this game about? What is this?"
Yeah, what is this? Is amazing. It's really great. There's been a lot of people talking about it, and I certainly don't want to talk too much about it because the game, I haven't played that much, and the game is so dependent on story. But the battle system is really interesting. You get these things, they call their skills functions. It's very much programming focused. So you get a function, and even at the end of the function name, it has the two empty brackets. But where it seems like that game will get really interesting is, and I tried to replay it, and my save was so badly corrupted I had to delete my entire save to go recreate another one. So I haven't really felt like going back to play that yet. It seems like it's where it will get me is the combination of functions. So you can take one main skill and then you can put two other functions in them as passives. So there's one skill that does and I never remember the names of them, but it does this kind of straight shot across the screen. And you can put a passive in there for charm, and it will charm whatever enemies you hit there, and it'll attack the other monsters. But if you put it in another skill, then it does something totally different for those. So, and not only that, every function you pick up is associated with an individual in the world. So the more different ways that you use those skills, the more the game fills in the background of that character and their story. So it's kind of crazy. And there's another beautiful game. The music is great, of course. The narrator is the same guy as Bastion, and that's good in kind of a different way. And I kind of hope I can get back to that at some point. I'm having problems with my Vita's remote play being very good right now, but I've heard it's only about 6 or 7 hours, kind of at the longest, and there's a new game plus in there. But I'm kind of hoping to get back to that at some point because it seems like a game that's completely in my wheelhouse, and I'd like to keep playing that and collecting all those crazy functions and whatever else that game is gonna throw at me. But that's all I've been playing, and we've been recording for surprisingly a while so far. So let's take a break.
All right.
All right.
Sorry, I'm so completely out of it, guys.
No, it's fine.
That's okay. I'm tired today, so I'm in the same spot that you are.
I just have not slept worth a damn this last month. But anyway, I'll be back in a sec.
All right.
I am definitely not going to be playing Persona Q all day today after I get off.
Not at all. All right, 4-Job Fiesta starts in 8 days.
I am super hype about that.
I didn't think it was so soon.
It seems so far away, and then it just
Yeah.
ran up on us.
Oh man. Yeah, I was able to pre-register this year. It's great. It looks like 2 people are competing for a run.
It's possible. Um,
June
I know.
14th, there's 2 people streaming it. Looks like they're competing.
Yeah.
That'll be
So
fun.
they tend to have like a bunch of people go head to head, but those might be like somebody actually a part of the actual site.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how much money they've raised so far. And oh, the large widget up at the top.
I was about to say.
Oh boy.
It's like it was usually
$1,245. So they have to play every piano, and then they have to do all Gilgamesh fights. Yipes. Interesting.
I cannot wait.
I'm really excited. I want to stream at least one of the playthroughs because I think I'll be able to play at least an hour every day, I'm hoping.
You should definitely do it.
Yeah. And at least just so people can watch me descent into madness like like every year when I get the worst group.
My first group that I ever had was the exact same group as you had your first time, and
Oh, weird.
I remember I was like, as soon as I hit my 4th crystal, I was like, this is Boston's same group. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go back and listen to all his notes.
Oh, yeah, let my suffering help you through the game.
It was like I'm trying to remember. There was a blue mage, ninja, samurai.
I don't remember
Whatever
what
the
my
first
4th
one
class
was.
was. Let me see if I can pull it up here on
I remember you
PUP.
saying though, like when you were doing it, you were like, "I hope the 4th crystal is in a samurai" or something like that. You actually
Yeah.
said that verbatim, and then you were like, "So I ended up getting a samurai."
Yeah, of course.
And you were like, "Never mind, samurai's good because I forgot about the whole guild toss thing."
Yeah.
And that's actually how I beat that game. Was everybody had to get guild toss?
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the best way to play that.
Well, because I had no healer, and I think you went over this too, that the blue mage, though they learned White Wind, you couldn't actually learn White Wind because you didn't have anything that could make the enemy use White Wind on the blue mage to
Yeah, I
actually
didn't
learn
have a Beastmaster or anything like
it.
that.
Yeah,
Or even a
and then
Dancer.
so like the only actual like heal skills you got was like vampire, and there might have been one more, but I don't remember. But it wasn't that effective. So the best strategy to go into the fight with at the end was just guild toss. Just guild
Yeah.
toss your way to victory.
Yeah, God, every year I play Final Fantasy V for the Fiesta, I love it more and more just for its craziness of how much you can break that game.
And the fact that any team out there can actually beat the game. So
Yeah,
that
every
shows,
single team is able to beat that game. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm trying to find some of my old posts here. Yeah, 2 years ago I got Thief as my first one. Yipes. I remember not really having a ton of fun that year. Alright, you guys ready to do this last segment here?
Yep.
Yep.
Alrighty, let me actually pull up show notes here. There they are. Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about RPG releases for June 2014. WildStar for the PC came out, well, it's now. It's came out a couple weeks ago here. So that's your latest MMORPG, which it kind of looks crazy. I don't know about that one.
I bought it.
Oh, yeah?
I forgot to talk about it. Whatever.
Oh, well. Twitch.tv/Minako Rocket. Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga, the first half of it, came out on PS2 Classics. It's $10, available now.
I absolutely love that game. And I'm actually sad that I don't have $10 to spend on it right now. But I highly, highly recommend it.
And the second half is coming out here. It looks like it's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So I know that game is pretty rare, so $10 seems pretty fair for a game like that.
And for people worrying about time, you can beat the first one within probably 25 to 30 hours. And then if you do all the extra crap in it, then you're looking at maybe 40 hours max. So
Yeah.
for an SMT game, it's super short.
Yeah, it's not 100 hours or anything. Atelier Rorona Plus, The Alchemist of Arland, comes out for the PS3 on the 24th, and that seems like it's it for RPGs for probably about the next 3 months. So, until Persona Q comes out, at least. Alright, moving on to news stories here. Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition had its release date announced. Coming out August 19th for Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, and PS4. For the new gen consoles, it's $60. For the last gen consoles, only $40. That is basically you get Diablo 3 plus Reaper of Souls plus everything that's come out at this point, and then some extra stuff. They're putting in some what they're calling social features into this version. One of them is an apprentice system where a high-level character can help level up a lower-level character, which I don't know how they're going to do it, but that sounds pretty helpful. And then this kind of general item mailing thing where there's a window of where you can mail items to other people on your friends list, even if they weren't in the party when stuff dropped. So that sounds pretty okay. I already have 2 copies pre-ordered for PS4, so my fiance and I can go through playing it. But yeah, I hear Diablo 3 is pretty great, so let's go check that out. Kingdom Hearts 2.5 HD Remix has a release date. December 2nd in North America and December 5th in Europe, so just coming in on 2014. If you haven't watched the trailer yet either, you should. Not only is it really good, but teases Kingdom Hearts 3 quite a bit at the end, which I was kind of surprised about. And if you haven't played Kingdom Hearts 2 before, you should. It's pretty good. I know a lot of people dislike that intro, but I happen to like it quite a bit.
So is that Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD remix? Like, if you've never played through the original Kingdom Hearts, is that something sufficient to play through?
Yeah, 1.5 is actually really good. And so 1.5 contains Kingdom Hearts 1 and then a movie version of 358 over 2 days, and then a playable version of Chain of Memories. And the 2 playable ones are actually really good. They did a really good job on them. And then there's a little bit of extra stuff that we never got here, from the director's cut or final mix or whatever they call it.
Gotcha.
And then 2 will have Kingdom Hearts 2, the video from Recoded, and then a playable HD version of Birth by Sleep, which Birth by Sleep was pretty good. I couldn't bring myself to finish it. But both packages are really good, and Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are both really, really good games. And if you're at all interested in Kingdom Hearts 3, both of the packages, I think they're only going to be $40, so it's pretty reasonably priced. So hop on in, they're pretty good. And last news story here, we have the Final Fantasy V 4-job Fiesta is starting very, very soon. The website says that you can go pre-register now. Don't forget you have to have Twitter. And it starts in 8 days, so when the show comes out, it'll be 6 days. So less than a week until you can start playing Final Fantasy V. So I know we've talked about the 4-job Fiesta on the show before, but if you haven't played Final Fantasy V before, please don't play it with the 4-job Fiesta for the first time. You can, but you're probably not going to like Final Fantasy V, and it's one of the best in the series, so don't poison your first impressions. But if you have, 4-job Fiesta is really great. If you haven't heard of it before, you basically get only 1 job for each crystal that you can use, and they're totally random. So you've probably heard us talk in the previous years about which horrible job combinations we've gotten, and then through our madness, we've been able to somehow complete Final Fantasy V. But I can't recommend it enough if you have a way of playing Final Fantasy V. It's really a great new way of playing the game. I think I know I'm going to play it, and I'm going to try to do my best to stream it. Mina, I think you're joining in this year again.
I am.
Are you going to try and stream it?
I actually am going to stream it. I had a really good time streaming it last time.
Cool. And Musum, are you going to join on in, at least playing?
If I do, it will be finishing the one I started last year.
There you go. Maybe you'll get
Hey,
an
it still
easier
counts.
party this year.
And I don't think my party last year was bad at all. I don't remember what it was. I just got distracted by something.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it last year, but I think your party was pretty okay. I think there was one class that would have made it a little difficult, but I don't remember what the party was.
You see, I don't even think I got stuck anywhere. I think just something came out and I started playing that.
Yeah.
What happened.
Yeah. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. Mina and I will be streaming on our respective channels, probably accidentally racing, if I know how I go. Sit there, play 8 hours straight. All right, but that's all of our news stories, and actually, we don't have any tweets or emails this month, so you can find us, you can find the show at pickingupthepixels.com. Email us, fans@pickingupthepixels.com. Tweet us at pickingupPixels. There's no "the" in there. It's too long for Twitter. And I think that's... Oh, join the forums. Chat with other peeps. We love hearing your feedback. So either comment on the episode or preferably comment in the forums, because that's where we are anyway. You can find Musum over at listen to his show The Carousel Podcast at thecarouselpodcast.com. You can find if you like his music from the show, you can buy it at listentomusum.com or musum.bandcamp.com.
Yes.
Whew. Oh, all right, I'm so tired I'm forgetting it. And you can watch Mina's live streams at twitch.tv/MinakoRocket. That's MINAKO Rocket. And you can find my other shows at e1m1.com. Thank you very much, Musum and Mina, for joining me again this month.
Pleasure as always.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all next month. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us on the live stream. Somehow we made it through. I don't know. And Musum's new modem has completely fixed all of your stuttering issues.
Yeah,
So-
amazing when the cable company does what they say they will do.
Yeah.
Well, did they show up between the hours of like 1 and 7 or something?
Well, I guess you weren't here when I was telling Boston about it. Like, my internet went out last weekend, and I called them, and it turns out the modem I have is not adequate for the speed that I'm subscribed to.
Oh, why would it? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
know. I know, it's nuts. It's... yeah. So, hopefully, everything's smooth now.
Yeah, so thank you very much, everyone, for joining us here on the live stream. See you next month. Bye.
Bye.